Okay.
Welcome, everyone. This is Trey Jadlow on this fourth day of December 2017. I'm here with a new friend, Cory, whom I met on Facebook recently. And he agreed to have an interaction with me about some fundamental issues. Hold on just a second. I got to turn off my volume here. Welcome, Cory. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. I don't know where you're at, but it is so beautiful outside. I decided to enjoy the weather.
Great. Where are you from?
Fort Worth.
Where are you?
Fort Worth.
Okay. I'm Kansas City area.
Oh.
Would you mind telling me just a little bit about yourself? Maybe what you do for a living. I guess you've got a family and some...
yeah. 2 kids,
okay.
You know, the job and hobbies on the side.
Great. So are you married?
I am.
Okay. Well, great. Well, congratulations on your family. Would you mind telling me just a little bit about your perspective, maybe your religious perspective?
Well, I guess you would say that religious studies kind of became a hobby over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Purely amateur, hobby type stuff. Well, as far as, are you asking my personal history?
Yeah, just briefly. I mean, did you grow up in the church, or have you always just grew up in a skeptical household, or what was your...
No. Well, okay. So yeah, divorce. One of them was skeptical. One of them was more fundamental. I lived with the more fundamental Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I really kind of just found my own little journey with that kind of stuff at 15. And here I am in my early 40s.
Okay, so you started... I mean, when did you start coming to the position where you would call yourself an atheist?
Without a label. And I still don't care for a label. As far as the word atheist is a claim that I am without belief in a higher power, then that would be a check mark of true.
Mm-hmm.
I am without belief.
Okay.
I guess evolving maybe 10 years.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, thank you for that. I'm a dental lab technician. I'm 51 years old. I've been a Christian about 30 years, 31 years actually. I've got 6 kids, ages 27 down to 14, 3 boys and 3 girls. Sadly, I'm divorced. And my wife left me about probably 3 or 4 years ago. Anyway, I make teeth for a living. I don't have a lot of formal education, particularly on what we'll be talking about, so I'm kind of an autodidact. But I'm interested in something. I usually will stick to it pretty tightly, and issues of ultimacy are fascinating to me. And so
I understand. I'm kind of the same way.
Okay. Yeah, great. I basically, we met on John Loftus' page, and he made a comment about he posted a Ray Comfort interview.
Yeah, it was a share of that Fruerstein guy who I can't really stand. So
yeah,
I usually get in there and
mix
it up if I see him.
Sure. No, I didn't even see that until later on. I don't follow him at all. Yeah. I kind of like Ray Comfort. He's okay. But I had, John Loftus had basically said, I would say the evidence for evolution explains every question except for how life began and why something exists at all. And so I made a snarky comment saying,
that's the only question that matters. Right.
Yeah. And then you made a snarky comment about the watchmaker argument.
Yeah.
And so I invited you to engage.
I was reflecting on the Ray Comfort video when I said that.
Yeah. Okay.
He was talking about if you found this book, You know, it's the same thing if you found the watch. It was just recycled.
Mm-hmm.
Would you think that the ink fell from the sky and blah, blah, blah?
Right. Yeah. Order
I did
out of
not find it
disorder.
very intriguing. Right, right.
Okay. So, and I'm not interested really in necessarily focusing on a teleological argument, but I, I guess I want to. I mean, you said you're a grown man with a child's idea of the world. If you really want to argue evolution, I'd be happy to,
Right.
since that would take about 3 minutes. So I would love for you
Let
to
me
just tear me a new one.
let me start with a question for you.
Sure.
And I'll be happy to go down the rabbit hole with you as far as you want to go.
Okay.
But I did a little browsing around, and it seems like you leave these, let's call them invitations, pretty liberally, for lack of a better word, to engage with people. So I have just a single question regarding that. What is your personal motivation for said actions, for these engagements?
Oh, because I love my neighbor. I believe that the perspective that I have is true, and I believe it has ramifications that are absolutely significant. And I think you would understand that if indeed there is a God and He is holy, and there is a place as hell, there are serious ramifications to the choices that we make in this life. And therefore, since I care about my neighbor, I would love to influence him in any way that I can to benefit them for eternity.
So you are witnessing.
Yes.
Okay. Question that I would have initially is doctrine.
I'm sorry, cut out there for a sec.
Yeah. How would you describe your current doctrine that you participate in?
I'm a Reformed Baptist, born again Christian.
Reformed Baptist.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to know where we're starting from.
Okay. Sure. No, very happy to.
All right.
Inform.
All right. So, I mean, I think I put in the comment that I didn't want to rehash all of existing bioscience. So, I guess let me reduce it to a set of where you're at as a Reformed Baptist. You are a young Earth creationist.
Yes, I am.
Wow. Oh, come on, dog. Well, that leaves me for a stump. So no 14.7 billion years ago, no 4.5 billion for Earth, no 3.5 billion for microbes, and no 200,000 for human. Right? None of that. You're 6 to 7, 8, 10,000.
I would say less than 10,000 years old. And I don't know if did you notice John Peters' comment on my statement that I was a yak?
I don't know how to deal with that, man. I honestly don't. I don't know how to have a conversation with someone that is. I mean, my first question is, how do you rationalize the time speciation post flood? I mean, none of it is, in my mind, substantial in any way. I mean, how do you rationalize it? How do you get from here to there?
Here's my problem, Cory. My issue is the very fact that we have purpose in this world in which you have. Would you agree that there's such a thing as value in the existence in which we live?
There's mathematical values.
No, I'm talking about
Can
value.
you define a purpose?
Yeah, that very thing that you
just
that very thing that you just gave me with that statement.
Mathematical
You have a
values.
goal. Telos is the Greek word, means goal, end, function. Did you have a goal when you made that statement?
It was a response to the data you gave me.
Right, and the goal was to convey information to me.
I'd like you to define purpose.
I just did. Teleology, something with a goal in mind, something that is moving towards something for a purpose. Purpose is something that's necessarily defined by personhood.
Right. I know you do the identity, law of identity argument, and it's common for an apologist to latch on to a philosophy law. Will Lane Craig did his deal with something from nothing. What I would say is, if we'll just go ahead and skip to that so we can move past that. A is A and A cannot be B. Is that where we're headed?
I'm not sure what you're saying.
A identifies as A, and A cannot, what is the term you like, arise, give rise to B.
Oh, no, I think the argument is, how do you justify intentionality unintentionally? Is that what you're...
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be a fine place to go. How do you do that?
Okay.
Because Darwinian evolution has no efficiency. It's a wonderful 19th century paradigm.
Here you go.
In the 21st century.
It's really simple.
Okay.
A is A, and B is B, and A has sex with B, and there's mutation, and there's a C. A is not a closed system, and that's where your idea is folly with evolution system. So, mixing the genes and mutation, that's what gives rise to whatever you want.
Okay.
And that is empirically proven throughout biosciences.
It is. You just assume the consequence there. What do you mean by what you want? That's what we're arguing. You're just assuming the very thing that you're trying to prove.
I'm sorry, what do you mean, what do I want?
You're saying somehow because there's copulation or something that somehow we have value. I guess that's what you're saying.
I wasn't saying anything about value.
I'm asking
Your
you, how
argument
do you justify value in an impersonal universe?
Well, okay, first, you're going to have value as subjective. So we're either talking about subjective or
and where do the
objective.
subjects come from?
From the illusion of consciousness, the illusion of free will, the illusion of existence.
Okay, where did the illusion come from?
Well, I mean, you have the ability to see, you have the ability to hear, you have the ability to smell, and from that perspective, you associate patterns. Your genes want to reproduce, and so you assign value as T to push your genes forward. That's why you care about your kids a little bit more than your neighbor's kids.
Okay, I'm asking. You're not answering my question. You're just saying, give me a just so story. You're just saying that's just the way it is. That you have a realm where there's no such thing as value. There's no personhood. There's no nothing. How does unintentionality give rise to intentionality without intending it? That's where the law of identity comes. I don't think you'll understand it, but how do you justify the idea of intentionality unintentionally?
What is intentionality? I mean, you're just playing a word game, though.
No, I'm saying we have this set. We have this realm that is unintentional. There's no intention whatsoever. And then you want to say
is it a closed system?
Then we have the same system where there is
not a closed system. Yeah.
Oh, so we've got two systems. We've got an intentional system and an unintentional system.
Right. So as life forms became more sophisticated, they began to protect, push, preserve. Right?
Cory, you're not even understanding what I'm asking you.
You're trying to say intentionality.
Yeah, I'm trying to say, how does unintentionality intend intentionality, because it's unintentional by definition?
Well, that's a word game, Trey. Yes, it's a word game. And it doesn't mean anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you can't understand it.
Why are you saying that? That's nonsense.
What you're saying is a word game. You're just saying, well, there's intentionality because that's the way it evolved. It's not an answer. You have a system.
What would you think is an answer?
There
I
must be a
mean,
self-existent personal being in order for there
why?
to be any contingent being.
Where
That's the
did you
law of
find the
identity,
manual? Where did you find a manual that said that?
the laws of logic, the law of
No,
identity. Do you
no,
concede the law of identity?
no. I can see that there is a law of identity. I don't think that it's applicable to what you're talking about. We're talking about evolution, right?
So
We're talking about
unintentionality can be
abiogenesis,
intentional.
or see, you're going back to that because that's all you got. I don't want to do that one with you. Unintentionality is intentional. Intentional is unintentional.
Okay, all right. Well, just leave
What does
that
that have to do with anything?
because you don't even understand it. All right, how about this? Let's
I do
talk about
understand
it.
it. I'm saying it's not relevant.
Oh, it's not relevant.
It's not relevant.
Okay.
What you're
Because
arguing
it can be
is that 7,000 to 8,000 years ago, everything poofed into existence by the sheer luck that there was a magic man.
Okay, and you say it poofed itself out of nothing by
No,
itself.
no,
That's a law. That's a violation of law of
no.
non-contradiction.
There was a massive inflation 14.7 billion years ago.
You
All the
meant there was
math,
a massive inflation 14.7 billion years
a
ago.
massive
Somebody told
inflation.
you that, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
People
inflation of
smarter,
what? What was it an
people
inflation out of?
of matter and heat and energy. People smarter than you and I. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what
Oh,
you
so
and
we're
I
not
have to
smart
say
enough.
tonight.
That's right. Let's just do what
That's
everybody
not. I'm
tells
not
us.
saying. I'm not
Richard
saying.
Dawkins told me it was true. Therefore, I should
I'm
believe
not
him.
saying that. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what you and I have to say about it. We're not the ones that went to college and studied this
That's
thing and did
right.
the math. And we
That's a
should.
dangerous position, my friend.
And we should
We need to
respect the
think for
people that
ourselves.
did the work. We should respect the people that did the
No,
work.
we should test all things ourselves and hold fast to that which
You
is
can't
true.
test anything yourself if you've already got a little plastic mold that says God. Because whatever you get's going to fit in that mold.
Okay, do you have a little plastic mold? I don't have that. I'm just following the facts. You have a
Yeah.
little plastic mold that says God is not. I demonstrated
No,
on
I
one
don't know
end
that God is
right
not.
here. I'm sorry?
I make no claim that God is not.
Okay, then how do you justify your existence?
I justify my existence through natural processes, which are amply recorded.
Are the natural processes self-existent?
Well, I mean, yeah, they exist.
Yes, but are they self-existent?
What do you
Because you
mean by
can't
that?
have dependent existence without self-existent by definition, because dependent existence is dependent by definition, another law of
See,
identity.
you're doing word games again. There just is reality.
Okay, is the reality dependent? Does it change? Does it need things? Do you have to eat in order to survive? Do you
Of
get
course.
sunburned? Do you stub your toe?
Right.
That's what we call contingent being, dependent being. If you're dependent, then there must be something somewhere somehow that has the attribute of self-existence. Otherwise, dependent existence couldn't be.
That's just word games, man. That's just word games.
Okay.
Everything that you want to measure and try and talk about is going to have some form of causality.
That's right. I'm appealing to the principle of causality. Effects do not exist without a cause. And what you're doing is you're positing pure effect without a cause.
There's always a physical cause.
I'm sorry?
There's always a physical cause.
Is that physical cause changing itself?
I don't know. I mean, a physical cause just works under physics so far as we know.
Okay, so
All
you're
right, look,
saying it works, it changes.
you know the guy in Austin, got up in a clock tower, shot a bunch of people.
Yes.
Did he have horrible intentions? No.
What do you mean by horrible?
Did he have horrible intentions?
What does horrible mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the average person would see the murder of other people as a horrible thing because of the loss of life.
Why is
We
that?
are
Is life
because
intrinsically
we are
valuable?
attuned to care for our tribe. Now, what I'm
Why is
telling you,
that?
why is that? Because
Is
it
it important
makes
to
our tribe stronger and pushes our genes forward.
So evolution is goal toward existence, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, each little thing out there is scraping away to keep living
Okay.
and push its genes forward.
So why do you have a goal where there's no personhood? In other words, Darwinian evolution has no efficient cause. It has no personal cause.
Darwinian evolution is just a mechanism. We've come a long way since then.
Okay.
Just
But
merely
this paradigm is impersonal, right?
impersonal.
Mm-hmm. How does it have a goal if it's impersonal?
Well, associate romantic words like personal onto things.
Romantic.
You know, we
You're the
also
one
like to
who's
say,
asserting value in Austin, remember?
I'm saying that that's how the most people would look at it.
And
But
I'm saying, what
the
justify it?
truth
Give me a
is,
reason.
the guy had a brain tumor, and there was no intention whatsoever. It was a physical cause and effect.
I want to know why it's bad that he did it. That's the point.
Well, I mean, from 1,000 years in the future or past, it was mildly bad. If you're standing right
Why?
there, it was very bad.
One modicum of bad. I want to know, why would it be anywhere near bad? Because it's an impersonal. The universe doesn't care about us, does it?
The universe? No, it does not care about you.
Okay. Are we a part of the universe?
We are. Physically, yes, we are made up of the universe.
Okay, so where's the problem with us dying?
There is no problem with us dying.
Okay, then why are you complaining about people? You said most people think it's a bad thing. It's a lie, right?
Most people do think it's a bad thing.
But it's not true, right?
It's fun if you want to sit there and toss around subjective moral arguments. That's fine, but it is subjective.
Okay, so you're the one who's pointing the moral imperative, saying it's bad to kill people, right?
I think that if you were standing next to people that were dying in Austin, you would probably go, "Oh, that's horrible."
No, I'm saying, what do you think about it?
Well, I mean, I think it's not good to shoot people
Why?
from a tower. Yeah,
Why?
because of secular moral standards.
Secular moral standards don't exist.
That's all.
Secular moral standards steal from the Christians and pretend that
No.
they're not. And I'm trying to pull the cloak.
Secular moral standards have neutered Christianity into what makes sense.
Okay,
it's the only thing we live by.
Then do the math for me. Where does the value
All
come
right.
from that secular morals standards have?
It's definitely a push and pull from a Judeo-Christian society, which was, as you know, dominant in Europe because of the Romans going across the Gauls and England.
Not Europe. Its entire Western culture is Judeo-Christian in our.
I was just saying how it physically and literally marched across the land through the Roman army, and you know, what we've done is basically shave. Okay, imagine a sword. It's just a plank of metal. All right. Now, time and secular moral values have been the grinding stones that have sharpened that blade. The dull, primitive Christianity was the plank of metal. So, I mean, you can say, I mean, I'm not going to deny that, Judeo-Western Christian values have made a stronger, better moral society, but there's plenty of shame in that society as well.
Okay, so you're saying that the reason you say that life is special is because of the Judeo-Christian meta-narrative.
I don't say that life is special. I'm saying that that's part of the fabric of the Western society, which, is arguably the best society in
the best society in.
Well, I mean, so far as we can tell, it's probably the best society. We're not sacrificing people. We've pretty much done away with slavery.
Okay, so what I'm trying to get you to talk about here, though, Cory, is the very fact that you are basing your moral imperative that life is special on a Judeo-Christian ethic. But I'm asking you from a secular perspective, divorce yourself from your Christian meta-narrative and give me your justification apart from it. Logic, not feeling.
The thing is, Trey, long before Christianity or even Judeo, I mean, there was value of life. Value of life has grown through time to where it is now.
That's how God made us, homie. Of course. Before Abraham, people valued life. In fact, that's what the Bible tells us.
Well, that is one interpretation, but there's many religious books out there.
Okay, give me your interpretation as a
many gods. As a secularist?
Yeah, I want to know the foundation for your moral imperative from a secular perspective. Because I talked to hundreds of atheists, and I haven't yet gotten an answer. I know they're always the smartest people in a room, but somehow they can't seem to dominate the conversation when we talk about these things.
I mean, I grew up in 1980s through 2000s in Texas. So that is my time and place. That is my footprint.
Okay.
So, put on top of everything that data, which is definitely going to be United States, which is a mix of Judeo-Christian and secular.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I have put away things that I think are bad ideas and bolstered things I think are good ideas. Much of what's been put away was Christian ideas. And I think you basically take reflection and honest introspection, and you decide what's of value to you. And there's your word value again, so jump on it.
Yeah, but you still haven't answered my question. I'm saying, from your secular perspective, how do you justify
From myself.
I'm sorry?
From myself. Who else?
Okay, you're saying you have this program within you that thinks that
It's
life is special, even though it's not.
no.
Is that
It's
what
an
you're saying?
it's accumulation of data points.
Okay, give
Mother,
me one of the data
brother,
points that tells you that life is special.
my mother. Duh.
Okay, your mother, you just
Well, my
pushed it
mother
right.
told me life is special. Of course.
Okay, where did it come from? Don't keep going back and say her mother, her mother, her
From
mother.
from from the tenderness that she shows. Aren't you
my
tender with
God.
your children? Do you do it because God tells you to?
I want to know the reason you justify from a secular perspective that life is special when you say that it's not. You're contradicting yourself.
I'm not contradicting myself. I
Oh,
choose
so
it.
life is objectively special.
Life is subjectively special. You will
Okay.
never get objective with me. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay. So then it's not really true. Objectively speaking, there is no such thing as value of life, but you lie to yourself that it is special for some odd reason. Is that what we're
I choose it to be special.
Yeah. Why do you choose it? That's what I'm asking. What's the goal? What's the purpose of it?
Well, I mean, we're pattern-seeking apes. Um, if I do a certain amount of things with my wife, then she does a certain amount of things for me. You know what I mean? It's the rat and the pellet.
Okay.
I mean, if you're talking about the love of a child, the love of a neighbor, I mean, that's
No,
all.
you haven't.
Altruism has been argued left and right. You can go whichever way you want with altruism.
Okay. Altruism is a goal in mind of survival, right?
Well, I mean, originally you had a tribe that was 99.99% family. And, people that were not in your tribe were enemies. So therefore you have, the birth of what you might call xenophobia and or racism. So basically it's all tribalism. I like my tribe. I feel safe in my tribe. And I don't trust you.
Okay.
Not you personally, Trey, but
No, I understand. You just keep
yeah.
ignoring my comments. I just don't think you understand even what I'm asking. It's like uh,
You're
you're
trying to.
positive. You're saying that life is special to you. You think that it's special, but you can't give a reason
I
for it. You
didn't
just
say
say,
that.
"Well, that's you."
I didn't. I didn't say that life's special.
You don't think life is special.
No.
So if someone were to come in and, God forbid, kill your child, you'd be, we could.
Oh, I'd be very upset, and I'd try to kill him.
Why is that? Because life is not special. This is the kind of
Well,
idiocy that I have to deal with every time I come with atheists. Like, come on, can you guys just think a little bit?
you're using this packaged word "life is special." Well, fine.
You just told me it
Then,
wasn't special, and then you told me it was
I,
special. Then you told me it wasn't special.
oh,
Then it is special. It's exasperating.
is this your gotcha? Look, I'm telling you that I am going to protect my tribe. My tribe is my family.
So because they're
Is it?
special, right?
Is it? Well, I appreciate the people that I have made. Yes, I give them a special value in my head.
Okay, so but it's not true.
It's not objectively true that my child is special. No.
Okay, then why do you have to rely on a lie to live your life? Shouldn't you live your life in a way that corresponds to reality?
What human do you know that doesn't rely on a lie?
Um, me.
Come on,
I'm
Trey.
seeking truth in my life. My life
Okay.
is all about
Hey,
truth. I
I
give a
don't. I,
justification
I,
for
I
sanctification.
don't doubt that you're seeking truth, but you're definitely depending on a lie.
Yeah, you're sure demonstrating that here, aren't you? Woo!
Yeah.
You're gonna give me 3 minutes, and you were gonna run me into the table, and boy, you sure are dominating now, aren't you?
I don't think that you've actually introduced anything other than your flip flop with the what was it? Existent? No, intentional and unintentional.
And
those are nonsense words involving biology. There's no intention
okay.
with biology. You have microbes, and then maybe they started out with protein. Maybe it was a meteor. Maybe it was, who knows? We don't know that answer yet. I'm not going to assume it and hit the magic button and just call it lucky that there was a God.
Okay.
I don't rely on luck, man.
All right. I'm not able to penetrate here at all. Let's go ahead and just close this off. I'm grateful for the opportunity you allowed me to talk with you, Cory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you met your goal.
Well, we didn't talk about evolution, Trey. You avoided the subject. I don't understand why, if you're in the 7,000-year deal, but you want to
This
talk about
entire
evolution.
conversation has been about evolution. Evolution has no efficient cause. It is an idea that does not speak to the ultimate issues.
Why would it need a cause?
Because you're positing a cause right now as you're having this conversation.
What is the meaning of a mountain?
What is the meaning of your child?
Exactly. Exactly, dude. I guarantee you, if you go back in time to Russia, there's no meaning in your child to the leaders there.
And that's a bad thing, isn't it?
It's a horrible thing. Anywhere in history, your child doesn't mean anything to you.
Okay, whatever. All right, listen, Cory, I got to go.
All right, sounds good.
I'm going to go to bed. But I appreciate your taking the time to talk with me. And if you have any of your atheist friends that would love to have a conversation, I'm available. I always enjoy speaking with my atheist friends. But the more I interact with atheism, the more I think it's an utterly foolish perspective that has no rational justification whatsoever. But that doesn't mean I don't love you. And I wish.
Well, that's coming from a guy that believes the Earth is 7,000 years old. So, how much do I put into it?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I appreciate it, Cory, and
hey, no problem, man.
Blessings to you and your wife and your kids, and I hope you all are doing really well. Okay, we'll see you later.